Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sixer Sense podcast. I'm your host Lucas with Chris, and we are recording the eve before Thanksgiving. So happy Gobble Day, everybody, because you'll probably be listening to this then, after you've eaten your turkey and all the other family festivities in the meantime. And we are thankful to be doing this podcast for now, I guess, around 6 years now? Yeah, that's crazy, right? That being said, we are not thankful for the Sixers shellacking the other night, and that's what we're going to get into, right, Chris?
Yeah, Lucas. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This is our 430th episode, and we have a pretty ugly game to talk about, unfortunately. Orlando, last night, Tuesday night, the 27th, put a good whooping on the Sixers. 144-103 was your final score. 31 off the bench for Anthony Black to lead the Magic. On Philly's side of things, Tyrese Maxey naturally led the way with 20 points in 32 minutes. Frankly, I'm not sure he really needed to even play that long. If we're going to look for positives, 15 for Jared McCain, who had his best game yet. Looks to be getting back to the Jared McCain we know and love. But overall, pretty ugly game, Lucas. I don't really know if there's a lot that we can say about a game like this. Just all the Sixers issues kind of laid bare. What were your big takeaways?
Yet again, I've said this before, VJ's defense was probably more important than his offense to this team at this point. I mean, look, we gave up 144 points, 51 in the second quarter. I don't look, and we've been praising Andre Drummond as he should have been praised, but however, a defense anchored by Andre Drummond are going to have nights like this where he's not going to be able to defend the paint very well. Now, granted, we had an out of personality experience for the aforementioned Anthony Black, who's really not been an offensive player so far in his NBA career. This was an outlier game for him, but at the same, even for Chet Howard too, 13 points, which I feel like is a career high for him as well in the NBA. Who knows that for sure? I don't, but the only bright spot for getting back to Drummond, 12 rebounds, that's pretty good. Getting Jalen Suggs to eject himself, I guess that's a positive. But can we talk about Drummond's fighting stance? I'm not a big fan of him getting smaller and trying to I know it's a fighting stance, but let's Drummond, come on now.
Look, they're not professional boxers, okay? They're playing basketball for a reason.
Were you really gonna try to Wendell? Come on now.
Yeah, look, no one that size has been in a lot of fights. No one's trying to fight Andre Drummond growing up, okay? So
yeah.
I think there's probably some inexperience there. I am not an expert in fighting technique, so I can't help him on that front. But yeah, the Sixers tried to get scrappy and kind of be irritating enough to throw Orlando off their rhythm, and it did not work whatsoever. Yeah. But Orlando's a good team. They've been trending up these past couple weeks,
as we've been saying. Yeah.
So it's not a bad loss. We aren't,
it's a bad loss, but not in terms of who we lost to.
Sure, yeah. It's a bad loss in the sense that they just didn't show up. Good opponent, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But yeah, this we'll get into some of the deeper injury concerns. I really think that's it's kind of a manpower issue right now because they just don't have the bodies that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So we can kind of go ahead and segue into these points, Lucas, if you're ready to talk about them.
Sure. Look, we finally saw some long run. John A. Broom couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, but actually, him and Quinn Grimes and Drummond were the only bad shooting nights in that game.
Yeah, and look, in Janai's case especially, you're kind of coming in under less than ideal circumstances. I'm not going to hold anything against him, but
yeah.
Look, 103 in today's NBA is not exactly an explosive offensive performance. Philly fell behind early and had no hope of catching up, but The defense was clearly the bigger issue here, especially
Yeah.
against an Orlando team that is not really known for its high octane offense.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a pretty ugly game all around, Lucas. Let's talk about some of the broader issues that are plaguing the Sixers right now.
Sure.
All right, we're 9-8 right now, Lucas. We're tied for seventh in the East, essentially. Paul George and Joel Embiid are both quote unquote day to day at this point, although there's some very irking, very upsetting lack of clarity, which is something we've come to know and love about this team, is that we can't just have a straightforward injury report, especially when it pertains to Joel Embiid and now Paul
Hmm.
George. What are we kind of getting into the territory where we have to worry about a repeat of last season?
You mean them barely playing? I think we were kind of already there before the season started, right? Like, so is it just a dream coming to fruition? It feels like it. Look, Paul George had, what was it, a coming back from the knee maintenance, but the injury recently said, "Oh, sprained ankle." What did he sprain his ankle? When, Chris? I don't remember him spraining his
It's
ankle.
yeah, it's kind of like when McCain like tore his meniscus after we thought he had a concussion. It's like
Yeah,
when did that happen?
yeah.
How,
So
when, why? But
and then Joel, he was probable. I think for this game, right? And then he was a late scratch, and we're just like, oh, like, and
yeah,
maybe Joel is like a little bit more understandable because we know with his knees it's just unpredictable. But like George, come on, like, what are we? He played. Like, are
yeah,
we trying to give the Thunder another good pick? Like, come on now.
it's frustrating, and like if they're gonna be hurt, that is what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
if they could just be more clear about what's happening and not leave us
That
in the
the
dark,
Look, this is
would
a
be nice.
trend for the Josh Harris ownership. We can go all the way back to the Joel Embiid, Drew Holiday stuff. We can look
Hmm.
at the Commanders right now. They're not having clear injury reports either. As somebody that covers them as well, yeah, no, it's frustrating on that end as well. So that's a Josh Harris issue. I think at this point we'll be lucky if we get 50 games out of both of them. Lucky. I think we're looking more about half the games, if we're being honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
If
there's no way to know for sure, but like this is the quote unquote other knee that is bothering Joel, which is just not ideal because you don't know when the left knee that's been bugging him for years is going to flare back up.
now
Paul is
this
in his mid
one's, yeah,
30s.
yeah.
Uh,
Look,
I mean,
I
Embiid was
think
like full on in practice for a couple days. He participated in shoot around, and then he just doesn't go. Which, like, I'm with you. If with Joel especially, you want to be extra careful, and I understand that. And the whole idea of just like getting to the playoffs with everyone intact is the goal. But it's going to be really hard to get to the playoffs if we can't
I
have a consistent product on the floor.
look at this
And
point. I think you just gotta, like, if you can get off these contracts, and I hate to say this about Joel, I think you got to look at what can you get for these guys at this point. Who can you get for these guys at this point? Could you get a DeMar DeRozan for Paul George or a Sabonis for Joel Embiid? Probably not, but like those would be the best case scenarios. Like, or do you
yeah,
get, or
I mean,
can you swap Joel Embiid or Paul George for Anthony Davis?
yeah, it's tough. It's like I don't want to trade them for guys who just aren't fits. I don't know if DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis are fits. I don't know if they really raise your ceiling at all.
But
I
their contracts are shorter and they're more available.
I think ideally, in a perfect world, you start thinking about a rebuild. But
I mean, you don't rebuild, you retool because you don't want to rebuild because then like that includes getting rid of guys like Maxi. No, rebuild is a complete teardown. You need to retool around
well,
Maxi.
that's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
like that's good in theory. But like, can you retool in a way that capitalizes on the next few years of Maxi's prime. I'm not.
He's what, 25?
Depends on a lot of factors as
He,
far as like
he,
your confidence in Edgecombe,
yeah.
how quickly he's going to reach an all-star level, that kind of thing. But like, I don't think trading for Sabonis and DeRozan would make Philly a contender in the East. I don't think those guys
Maybe not
fit
DeRozan, but
in
I
that
do
way.
think Sabonis would be an upgrade over Drummond for sure.
He'd be an upgrade for sure, just in terms of availability. But I mean, like, there's a reason Sacramento hasn't been able to win anything with, or Indy before them. Like, you know, you got to be careful with who you're trading them for still. But I do agree that probably in an ideal world, you're able to get off of the. I think Joel's is probably
the one that you can't get off
still
of.
more toxic just because of
Yeah.
everything. And it's tough because I think he's a better player than Paul. And when he has been out there this year, he has, for the most part, looked
They
good.
both looked good when
Yeah,
they've been out there.
it's tough.
But it's these they're what 12 and 15 years into their respective careers. It's going to be. I mean, look, we're seeing it with like the Houston, not the Houston Rockets. Sorry, the Clippers. They got old guys, and most of their old guys are having problems staying on the floor. Like, why? So, like,
Yeah.
it's like I said, I don't know how. Like, I don't even know who would want those guys at this point. I threw out the Kings because they're the Kings, but like, really, like, I don't know who would want either one of those guys.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I think you'd probably be. It's tough. Like if you want to salary dump them, I'm not sure a team that is willing to do a salary dump would want a player who could still make them like too good to tank. Like if Brooklyn were to just take on Joel's contract, you don't want him to get healthy
I
for
think if
40
like
games.
If Brooklyn got him, they would probably buy him out. Well,
Maybe,
yeah, or
but even
wave and
that is just
stretch.
such
Yeah,
a complicated financial setup. Like I don't know if they want to do that. So
mm.
yeah, it's tough. Like that. Like that's the issue they're
uh,
in. Is like you have 70, 80
yeah.
plus $1 million wrapped up in two guys you can't depend on. That limits your ability to build out depth. Then you have Watford getting hurt now. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks with a left adductor strain. You have Kelly Oubre missing time. You have McCain still getting up to speed. If you stack even a couple more minor injuries on
VJ
your
still
two
out.
stars who can't be relied upon to play more than 30, 40 games in a year, it's just hard to build a deep team that way. So you end up playing Maxey and Edgecombe 40 minutes a night. They get burned out. And then you're in a hole the second half of the
Mm-hmm.
season. So
Well, let me just ask you this: let's just say we don't get Joel and Paul George for any significant time for the rest of the season, everybody gets healthy. Best case scenario for the team without like the services of Joel and Paul George, how good is this team? I think they're a 6th seed without those two.
if you can count on everyone else being healthy, I think maybe you're looking at a playing team, which is like, I don't know. Like the defense hasn't been good this year. We knew this was gonna like kind of come back down to earth after that hot start. You
Mm-hmm.
need to be able to play defense to compete in this league. So sure, the offense can get to a level where they're at least like competitive most
Yeah,
nights, but
yeah.
you're probably a playing team at that point. And that's when you
Mm-hmm.
get into the conversation of like, well, do you capitalize on the fact that Maxi is taking a leap? This is probably the peak of his value on a controllable contract with only 25, no major injuries. Like, we've seen a lot of small guards kind of popping up in trade rumors this year because they've fallen off for one reason or another. Is that when you like kind of hit the rebuild button and build around VJ? Probably not this year because they don't have their pick, unless they
Was
really want to gamble on trying to jump into the top three, which is just
top
not
two.
top two, which is like really not a good bet in with the current lottery setup. So that might
Yeah.
be an off-season decision, but then you're like
Look, I just don't think you rebuild when a guy's 25 years old.
maybe
Look,
not, but
you can still
you at least reset.
you
It would be
reset.
the
You can
ideal.
reset. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
reset with him, but I would not rebuild and trade
that's
him.
fair. I think that's totally fair. I think Maxey is like a great guy to build your culture around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sit here and say trade Maxey is the way to go, but
No. I mean,
it is
look, and
tough.
I would prefer not to trade Joel and Paul George. You know, when they've been healthy, they've been good. You know, and we still haven't seen this team completely healthy yet either. That's the other part.
Well,
We
that's the
still have,
thing. Is like, is it just probably isn't gonna happen. Like we've been saying, if they get healthy for like 2 years now,
yeah.
really for the entire Joel
Mm-hmm.
era. But
Well,
like
we have one
I
more trade idea in here besides just the Joel and Paul George of it. So
yeah, I think like I don't know. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm worried that it is just really impossible with Joel and Paul George in their current state to build a real contender. Frankly, I think we kind of knew that, but it is reaching the point where like I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe it's there with Maxi and VJ, but I think you have to like clear the deck around them and give yourself the flexibility to get younger and just to put more durable players.
even if you could get rid of one of those contracts, it would open up so much
Yeah,
stuff.
so that'll make for a very interesting trade deadline conversation if things keep kind of on this path.
And by the way, I think Morey has kind of saved his job a little bit just because of all the I like the pieces he has on the team this year versus last year. He did
Yeah.
a much better job adding talent to the team. And to be fair, we're still missing Bona and other depth.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Is like I do genuinely believe that Daryl Morey is good at his job and knows how to make the most out of crappy situations. But there's really nothing you can do when you've locked yourself into Joel and Paul George like this. And going back to when those contracts were signed, we were both like, this was the right move. This was a necessary gamble. Joel was like a recent MVP winner. Paul George was gonna get that money from somewhere else or something close to it. At least from the
there
Clippers.
wasn't another good option besides Paul George for us to
Yeah,
spend
like
that money.
you cleared out a max spot to sign Paul George, and that was a totally worthwhile gamble, but it's not paying off, and you have to find a way to pivot. I don't know how they do it, but yeah,
They could always wave and stretch. I mean,
yeah, that's tough. You don't want a bunch of dead money
you
that is
don't,
like truly dead,
but
yeah, we'll see how
we'll see.
the Dame Lillard decision pans out for Milwaukee, but
No. Well, let's get we've lost a lot of important role players. Most recently, Trent Wofford. Let me ask you this: is it time for Morey to like start hitting the trade machine and seeing who he can add in the trade market at this point?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. It's so early in the season, it's hard to know.
And honestly, most people aren't even available for trade until December 15th.
Yeah, so it's not going to happen like tomorrow. They're not going to find their dream role player. And with 3 guys wrapped up on max contracts, their flexibility is extremely limited, which is unfortunate.
I
But
do have one extra roster spot. I do want to note that Morey always does that until the trade deadline.
they do have an extra roster spot. Maybe someone like gets bought out later on, but then you're like, do they even want to sign in Philly? It depends on how the team's doing. But what do they need, Lucas, is probably the better question. Like, what kind of player archetypes are you looking for?
That's a really good question. Because you could argue that there are no needs, and then you could argue there's plenty of needs. Right now, let me just pull up the game from last night. So 2 out of our 3 two-way guys are getting regular minutes at the power forward position. Now, granted, you could say Paul George and Kelly are outs, fair, but I don't think the goal was for Dominic Barlow and Jabari Walker to play every game so far. I don't think that was the goal for the two ways. Or maybe it was, I don't know. But I'll say that look, Dominic's good. We both like Dominic, right? We see a long-term fit as a role player here, right? Jabari is kind of hit or miss on some games, right? I think that's fair. So you could say power forward. You could say center. I mean, look, Dominic Barlow has to fill in as backup center now that Bono's out. Bona has had has had a sophomore slump so far. Drummond, we know what he can and can't do, right? So, like, do you want to add another center? I'm not worried about the guard position at all. That's like the one thing we don't have to worry about. Small forward, I mean, you don't love playing Justin Edwards all these minutes, but you also go small sometimes. So I say power forward or center, either one would be
Yeah.
the two positions that I'm looking at, and it just honestly depends on like who's available and like what do we trade? Do we trade Eric Gordon? Probably, right? Eric Gordon, maybe probably not Kyle Lowry, but like definitely Eric Gordon's probably the one that you could swap for. Like maybe you look at Nick Richards. Maybe you look at a guy like him or somebody. I don't know. Somebody. You tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think those are the two. Like, if they added two players, you would want like a bigger wing forward type who can defend a little bit and rebound and hit threes. Then you'd want like a good backup fringe starter type center who can maybe move Drummond back to the bench, use him in more concentrated doses that don't overtax him and kind of hold down the fort when Joel's out. But you do like have to give up stuff to get good players, and they don't have a ton of good tradable guys who aren't key pieces of the rotation. And you don't necessarily want to burn picks when you're in this situation because you might be
No.
rebuilding, resetting soon. That gets into a whole like, do you want to kind of use your capital right now when you're not certain what the future holds? That's another layer to the equation, but yeah, I do think if they could get like a good quality backup center, that might honestly be the priority. And then, because if you don't trust Bona and you're just not going to try the broom thing at all.
Which is a
I would
shame because
like
they
them.
should. They
I
should
would
try
like
the.
them to give Broom a genuine shot. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of silly to be at this in this situation and not. Like, he was so good. He's 24. Like, this is not
I,
a long-term developmental project. You need to
I
see if he
mean,
can.
look at his stats from the last game that he actually got playing time. Outside the shooting was bad, 2 of 9, right? But like 6 rebounds, two assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals in 17 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
he's
three
like the
offensive
best passer
rebounds.
on this team. So like, he has some fun stuff, and he's a good player. I remain very confident in that. They just
So
need to
maybe forward is the place
commit.
that we go, not center, because like I don't want to give up on Bona's Broom, sorry,
Sure.
Broom or Bona really. Honestly, like in small dosage, you could do a three-headed monster when Joel's out at center and play all these guys, limited, like maybe around like 20 to I don't know what's 48 divided by 3, but like whatever that is, like do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I
like
I agree.
so like really power forward here, and that's probably the weirdest position to try to fill in the NBA today, right?
Yeah.
Because like, do you go traditional? Do you go but double big? Do you go traditional power forward, or do you go a big wing that's a little bit more physically dominant? Like, what do you? I mean, honestly, I don't hate Dominic Barlow as our power forward. I don't think you would hate it either. And
No.
Jabari Walker is fun in little spurts, but like he like I said earlier, he's a little too inconsistent for me to give him a regular role, and he's a little undersized too.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the issue with like Walker and Watford, and especially with Kelly out, is like they just don't have the perimeter defense
no,
to make up for the fact that their bigger wings can't really defend either. Like, they need to have good defense somewhere on the floor, and like VJ has been pretty good on that end, but
yeah,
he's not
yeah.
like a stopper on ball yet. He's more of an off ball playmaking type. You know, Grimes is probably their best defender right now on the
Yeah.
perimeter, and like
I haven't been wowed by his defense this year. I
yeah,
think Kelly's been our best perimeter defender,
I
honestly.
would agree. I do
Yeah.
think if they can get Kelly and Watford back, that will help. But what happens in between is the question. And like they need to find some people who can defend. That is
That
really the broad overarching need right now. Is they need better defenders out there.
I
So
honestly just say flick like if you just get a defense only guy, like honestly, you can flip Gordon for him for that type of player. That's easy to do. I think you could do that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'd
Yeah,
like to think so.
like if he wasn't on like an actual like trying to think like a guy like Josh Okogie, like that would be fun. But like he's not available, obviously. Yeah, but I think like defensive four or defensive wing just in general would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, that being said, Chris, let's go ahead and move on to some trade candidates.
All right. I just basically took the 10 players from Bleacher Report's trade big board.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, Lucas, it would be a fun exercise to try to pick one ideal landing spot in your head for each of these guys. So that is the assignment that I have set out for us. Let's start at the bottom and work our way to the top. Jonathan Kuminga.
Jonathan Kuminga. Like, honestly, I think, like, hot take, I think the Warriors should just scrap the Steph timeline. It doesn't feel like it's going to happen. And just, like, get rid of all the veterans besides Steph. And just just build around the young guys. Like, I get that you want to maximize Steph's, like, window, but, like, I think the window's closed. So, like, why not start? And look, if he's as graceful and professional as we think he is, then, like, I think he would be okay, like, helping usher in a new era of Warriors basketball. That being said, if they're going to trade Jonathan Kuminga, where should he go? I don't know. He's kind of a weird fit, to be honest. Like, I don't like him in Sacramento because they already got Keegan Murray. Like, that feels like a duplicate thing. Shout out to Keegan Murray coming out hot, coming back from the injury. Kind of like him. I kind of like the idea of Phoenix, but like, how do you make that work? Do you get Jay? Like, they didn't want to do that trade before. I don't think they want to do that trade now. Yeah, I'll say Phoenix, but like, I don't really feel good about any one place, really.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I might just say Miami because I think that's the best place for most guys who don't really know.
I have Miami for a different player on this list.
You don't know what to do with. We can do the same team for multiple guys.
Okay, well, I mean, Miami's fine for him too.
All right, so you're sticking with Miami, or you
No,
going?
I'll go. Hang on, let me think where he would fit better. You know what? I want to see him in Phoenix. Sure.
Okay.
I'll say different.
All right. Nick Claxton.
Oof.
Brooklyn Nets.
Who needs a center? That makes about what is he making? 20?
Really?
I mean, 20 to 25. What is he making? 20 or 25? It's 25, right?
Nick Claxton's salary, according to Spot Rack, for this season is $25.352 million.
I kind of don't hate Boston, but I actually have a different idea for Boston on this list.
I think we should not help the Celtics.
Yeah, Nick, I'm trying to think of another team that could use a center. Lakers?
That could work.
Him next, two-headed monster with him and Aiden? That could, yeah, I like that.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I would say the Lakers, LAL.
Okay. I think Claxton might be kind of fun in Golden State, actually.
Okay, I mean, that's
I could
fine
get behind
too.
that.
We're doing this with no prep, by the way. I have not.
Oh yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're this is our gut instinct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I kind of agree that Boston would be a pretty sick landing spot. Not that I want him there.
There's a different center
reason.
on this list that I want in Boston.
I'll say Boston for Claxton.
Mm-hmm.
Ja Morant. I think there's
said
reporting that Minnesota has looked into it.
No, terrible idea. No. I said this before on the podcast in the past. He is a Miami. He needs a reset mentally, and Miami culture is the way to do it. So Heat culture all the way.
Yeah, I do think still the counter to that is, do they want him tainting that Heat culture?
Look, Jimmy Butler did not taint the Heat culture.
I think Jimmy is a different. I think Jimmy was perfect. I think Jimmy promoted Heat culture. I don't know if Ja is that kind of guy. I think those are different.
Well, they could always trade or waive him later. if they don't like it. Okay, so who do you got
They
instead of?
could. I mean, look, I'm kind of like with you. I don't really know where you put a guy like that. He's like so flawed. He hasn't played well lately, and he's like maybe a bad person to have in the locker room.
Yeah.
Uh,
There aren't that many veteran teams that could take on a
Plus
personality
he's
like
making
that.
a crap ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah. Miami?
I do think Minnesota, like, if you take all the extra noise out and just look at like an
They need a point
optimized
guard,
version
but
of a
like they need a
player,
point guard that can shoot threes. He can't shoot. He's never been able to
they have
shoot.
other shooters. Like that would be probably the best on paper spot for him. As
No.
far as like a good winning team with a solid foundation and a really high level defense behind him.
I just don't like the floor spacing with him and Gobert for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he doesn't shoot threes at
No,
all.
he
You
just
know,
shoots 19% on them this
not
season.
he's gonna shoot better than 19%. You
Mm.
know,
Fine, you
I'll
can put him in
say
Minnesota, but
I'll say Minnesota, even though I don't really love it.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Gafford, Lucas.
Okay, so I think he should go back to his roots and be traded for Vucevic for in Chicago.
Okay.
I think clearly the if you're gonna keep AD in Dallas, then you need to get a 3-point shooting big next to him. Vooch does that,
I don't know.
and
I think Vooch is like maybe too good for that trade.
I mean you would have to add other pieces. Let's be clear, but
But
like
yeah, I think Dallas is going to try to go down a different timeline.
I mean maybe they do. I don't know, but if they don't, Gafford fits Chicago's timeline. He actually offers
Yeah.
them defense.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does clog up things a little bit for Giddey, but I think Giddey could still make it work.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Gafford.
If the Sixers had more tradable contracts, I would say to Philly, but I don't think that works for us.
So he's making $14 million a year. I'm going to let you vamp for 5 seconds while I go turn off this TV that turned on by itself.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not scary at all. Oh, your Thunder won again.
I told you to vamp. You're not entertaining the folks. All right.
Yeah, no, the Thunder won again. They're now 18-1. Congratulations.
As expected.
All right, so where do you
right.
have Gafford going?
I mean, really, 14 million is not that crazy for the Sixers. I feel like they could probably get there.
Like how though? Without including somebody like okay, Drummond's making 5, Gordon's making what 3? That's 8. How else do you get there?
All
Are you
right,
pulling
let's
up
pull
Fanspo
the
right
Sixers
now?
salary sheet. You're making me do my homework. Bless you.
I mean, look, if we could get Gafford, that would be great.
All right. I mean, you would probably have to do like Kelly.
Kelly, see, do you want to give up Kelly for Gafford though?
I could be talked into it.
I can't. I'm sorry.
I think Gafford's really good.
Gafford is really good. He's a starting level center. The problem is, do you want to give up your best perimeter defender? And as we saw the last couple games, that has really hurt the Sixers, not having Kelly.
I mean, I think the only way to get there would be to either do Kelly and Quentin or Quentin plus Drummond plus
Get
someone else.
Allow Dallas to fix their mistake. Get Quinn back in Dallas.
That would be very funny. Yeah, you're right. It might not be very feasible for the Sixers. All right. That said, where should he go is a great question.
Who needs a center?
I mean,
Phoenix, maybe?
Phoenix. I mean, they have Mark Williams. They're gonna.
I mean, he's
need
playing
to play
fine. Yeah.
Watch eventually. This could be another one for Boston.
Yeah,
That would make
Boston.
sense.
Yeah, I mean Boston. Boston clearly needs a center. That's better than. I mean, Kata's been playing fine, but like he's a backup.
I'll go with Golden State just to mix it up.
All right.
All right, Trae Young.
That's tough. I'm gonna say Orlando.
Okay, interesting.
I
don't
like the
hate it.
Look, you need a lead guard and play a lot of shooting next to Franz and Paolo.
Yeah, I would have said that with like out hesitation last year. I wonder
Yeah.
if the Bane trade kind of mucks things up financially now. Plus,
I
I
mean,
think Trey's value is maybe not going in the right direction.
yeah, I mean, you could you can just swap Suggs for. I mean, Suggs fits what the Hawks are trying to do.
Yeah, that's
You,
that's not a bad idea. Um,
I don't know if the money works, but like
I
that's
would, yeah, I would still vouch for trading. If you can trade Fox for Trey Young in San Antonio, I would do it. I just don't know if the Spurs would.
see. I think the Spurs should not get another. If they're trading Fox, they need to get a wing, not a guard.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
Though I do think Trey and Dylan Harper is like a fun, could be fun, could not
Mm-hmm.
be. There maybe it's a little complicated. I'm not going to pick the Spurs.
Yeah.
Huh.
What about the Rockets?
Rockets. I do wonder if it's like too much of a too much of
Pivot.
a risk for a team that's already that good.
Yeah. But you know they're
Um,
gonna miss Fred in the playoffs.
yeah,
Trey
but
is
I
a play.
mean, then again, you have Reed who's like coming on pretty strong.
Mm, that's fair.
Uh,
Maybe Minnesota for Trey. That would make more sense in my mind
I wouldn't hate
than
that.
Ja.
Let's look up the Timberwolves salary sheet. Why don't we?
You probably have to give up Randall, money wise, or Nas Reed and Mike Conley,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
which
you could probably get there with Reed, Conley, and maybe another guy.
probably Dillingham.
Yeah, I mean, if you're confident in depends. They don't really have a lot of depth behind Gobert and Reed. I don't think Beringer is like there yet.
You can find somebody off the street though if you need to,
Yeah, I
or make it as trade afterwards.
I might double you. I might go with Orlando too.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, Domantas
Philly?
Sabonis
No, I'm joking. No. Um,
Sixers.
no. This is where I think Boston comes into play here.
Sure,
He feels like a Boston player.
I don't disagree. I do kind of. I think I've kind of mentioned that on the pod before. Is like I could see
Yeah.
the appeal for Boston.
Look,
I
yeah.
wonder if they want to like pigeonhole themselves into that style of center, but
I mean, they got the perimeter defense, to play that way.
yeah.
Just saying.
Mm, Toronto would be interesting. I don't
I
think I'm gonna
don't
see
think
them.
they upgrade. Is Sabonis
I
this
wouldn't
season
do
a?
it. I
Nah, I
wouldn't
wouldn't
do
do
it.
it.
But you could make another argument here for Golden State.
Yeah, I mean I think
Maybe.
they've been like low key linked to him.
I think the reporting today was that they aren't going to trade for AD or Sabonis.
Hmm.
That they don't want to do that. Um. Hmm. Memphis next to Jaren could be interesting.
But you got Zach Edey already. You invested a top 10 pick in him.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right,
Him
I'm
and
gonna go
Jaron
with
would be a
Boston.
good fit, though. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Boston as well.
that's fair.
All right, LaMelo Ball.
Clippers, baby, let's go. Get him in LA.
Interesting.
I have no other reason besides I just don't want to say Miami again. One and two. Look, I don't think they're gonna be a free agent hub like they think they are. And LaMelo is at least a name that will sell tickets. Hometown kid,
Fair.
flashy play,
Yeah.
still young enough to where you can build around him. What do you trade for him? You don't really have picks, but I don't think his value's to where he demands a lot of picks. You could probably get
Okay.
away with doing some veteran stuff. Who? I don't know. I don't really
Sure.
care.
Yeah. I
Probably
can
a
get behind
three-team
that.
trade that where you would send you would probably have to trade James. send him to a team and have that team send stuff to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I could maybe get behind that. I don't know if this would be my pick because it's just there's so much injury risk between the two of them. But I do think LaMelo is kind of the dream point guard to put next to Zion. I do think there's synergy there.
Fair.
Could be a lot of fun. I don't know if personality-wise, those are the two guys you want to build your franchise around. And you're a 3-15 team right now if you're New Orleans. So, not that you're tanking towards anything because you dealt your pick for Derek Queen, but
to be fair, Derek Queen has been looking fantastic.
If you just hand the Hawks like Cam Boozer, though, then it's gonna be a problem.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You gonna do the Pels?
I do think Orlando and Houston are semi-interesting. I don't hate
that's fair.
the Clippers. I do think there is a case for doing a Trae Young LaMelo Ball swap in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, like, if you're Chicago and you could turn Josh Giddey and stuff into LaMelo Ball, I'd be interested in that.
That's fair.
That could be a fun idea.
Okay.
But I think I will, despite my better judgment, I'm going to put the Pelicans.
Okay.
And speaking of the Pelicans, you have any ideas for Trey Murphy, Lucas?
I mean, every team in the NBA should call.
All 29. Yeah.
All 29 should be calling for him. The one, I think it's going to be a bidding war for him, and who has the most picks out of anybody right now? Your second favorite team, the Thunder.
I like it.
I hate to say this, but like I think that he'll fit anywhere.
Do they want to take on the money is the question.
Well, how much is he making?
He's making 25 this year. It's going to be 31 million in 4 years when he's 28. So still very young.
He is injury prone though.
Is he?
Maybe a little bit.
I don't know if
missed chunks. Maybe not
prone.
the Thunder.
He's played at least 50 games in every season.
Okay. Let me take the Thunder off the table. Who else could really use a guy like Trey Murphy? The Sixers.
Sixers, yeah. They don't really have the money.
No. I think a contending team. So let me just look real quick who's contending in each conference to refresh my memory here. Because I think whichever contending team not named OKC, because I think OKC could get him if they wanted to.
Oh yeah. If you're
let's see
willing
here.
to give up, especially if you're willing to do like Hartenstein, I think
Miami could trade Wiggins in a pick.
Yeah, I kind of want somewhere more fun for him, but
That's
yes,
fair.
that would
Miami
make
could
sense.
do that. Let me look over here in the West.
England would be sick if they could do it. I don't know. If
they probably couldn't. Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so Miami or the Spurs, if I had to choose one of those two teams, it's probably going to be... I wish there was a trade that they can get rid of Fox. But I will say I've talked to somebody that covers the organization. It does not sound like they are going to trade Fox. From what he told me. Yeah, I would love to see him next to Wemby, but that's also another injury-riddled big man, so I'm going to say Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, Miami. Switch him for Wiggins and a pick. Get the money and the pick. They need picks.
I do really like the Spurs conceptually. I think that is a good one. I think I don't think Denver has any picks left.
No, they don't.
I think Cam Johnson will figure things out eventually. Like, I'm not too worried about him.
I mean, yeah, if you could flip him for Cam
kind
Johnson.
of already figuring it out.
Yeah.
He's had a couple good games in a row, but I'm going to go with the Spurs here. I think that's the move.
I mean, yeah, that would be my second choice, yeah.
All right. Anthony Davis, Lucas.
Whew. I'm going to say Philly. I don't know if it's Paul George or Joel Embiid, but I'm going to say Philly.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's fun.
that might be the slight fan in me. Like if I'm not, I mean, keep Philly on the list, but if I'm calling
No.
about another team,
Yeah.
if I'm another team thinking about am I an Anthony Davis away from winning a championship or being a real contender, he would get Chicago out of the middle.
Would he?
He probably would.
Would he be on the floor enough to do that?
Oof! Don't say it like that. He'd get to go back home. Actually, see, kind of want him in Minnesota, but like durability because Rudy is at least durable. Some people are saying, "Hey, trade him back to the Lakers." No, that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that for pride reasons.
Yeah, I'll still stick with Philly.
Okay. It is kind of weird how Philly really does make a little bit more sense if you try to really, I don't know. It's so much injury risk. You don't want to trade one guy who's hurt all the time for another, but you could really make a case for Philly.
Yeah. The question is, would Dallas do it?
I just in my soul, I don't want, especially if it's Joel, trading Joel for Anthony Davis at this point.
No, it would have to be. I think it would be Paul
so
George.
sad.
I think it'd be. I think it'd have to be Paul George, and then you just figure out the minutes thing later with Joel and AD.
Yeah, and that could be fun. I'm not gonna say the Sixers, but we've talked about it. I'm not entirely opposed conceptually.
You could put him next to Wemby and trade De'Aaron Fox for him.
You could. That really wouldn't be the worst idea, actually.
Trade Fox for Davis. It actually makes a lot of sense for both teams.
Do you like a cover if either one of them gets hurt?
I mean, doesn't matter.
I definitely think they can play together. No doubt about that. The defense would be much better if you swap out Fox for Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really on their timeline, and the injury stuff is going to be a problem for every team. But
you could just have him as Wemby's backup. He's 35 now.
I don't think you're going to bring Anthony Davis off the bench yet. I think it's too soon.
If you want to prolong his career, then maybe you do.
I think you're staggering and playing him fewer minutes as a starter. But I see your point.
I mean, that's what I would do with him and Joel.
I think you're still starting them together, though.
Maybe, but only play them 4 minutes at the beginning of each quarter together, and then maybe at the end of games, maybe.
Yeah. It is crazy how few teams Anthony Davis makes any remote sense for.
Maybe if you're the Clippers and you're trying to grasp at straws, but I wouldn't.
Golden State, you could make a case, but they've already said no, and there's so much. They don't need to get older. I don't think Chicago passes the smell test. I don't think San Antonio wants to wrap up that much money. I mean, when does Anthony Davis?
He's making around $50 million for 3 more years, I think.
I guess it's a question of whether you think you can do something better with that $50 million in the next 3 years, which you probably can. But
the question is, who do you think is going to have more if you're Philly, who do you think is going to have more longevity in 3 years? Paul George or Anthony Davis? My money's on Anthony Davis. Just because big men age more gracefully than wings.
Do they?
They, for the most part, unless your name is LeBron James or DeMar DeRozan.
I don't know. I mean, especially health-wise, I think it's easier to stay healthy as a Paul George than an Anthony Davis. But, okay. I guess I'll just put the Spurs, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I really want them. I'll put the Sixers. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's just have fun. I don't really know if I want that to happen. I think it would probably just be more of the same. But okay. Larry Markkinen to round things out, Lucas.
I mean, there's 2 teams that are on the top of my list. We just talked about one of them, the Spurs. Him next to Wemby makes a lot of sense. You could do that, or you could if you feel like Detroit's a second scorer away, which I think they are. I think they need a legit second scorer. The idea of him, Cade, and Duran, oof. Like, you'd have to give up Ivy, you'd have to give up Tobias, maybe Ron Holland. I know that's your guy. It's probably either going to be Ron Holland or Thompson. I'd rather give up Holland than Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I kind of like, I don't know. The injury stuff with Wemby still kind of scares me. Like, he'll be in the same situation, and I want him in Detroit. Yeah,
I'm have him in Detroit too.
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
Fun. I think that is like you said, that is like the perfect guy next to Cade.
So we agreed on 3 players where they should go: Trey, AD, and Lowry. Oh yeah. No, and Sabonis too.
Yeah. I again, like with the AD Philly thing, that is like kind of ridiculous and messy, but why not?
And honestly, both teams might just Paul George is a better fit next to Cooper, in my opinion. You could make the case that it just makes sense for both teams, and it's just a clean wash, no picks involved. I don't think you should have picks involved there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could just be a straight swap. I mean, you might have to add in 1 or 2 other contracts. Maybe you have to throw in McCain. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah. Whoa.
No, probably not.
Let's not get.
I'll throw in Eric Gordon for you.
Oh yeah, and you can Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry. It would be kind of awful to trade Kyle somewhere in his last year.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think
Kyle.
The hardest player on this list besides Anthony Davis was Jonathan Kuminga, though. I really don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. That being said, there are definitely some players on that list. Anything else around the NBA? The Cup games. They're actually trying this year. I appreciate that.
I really don't think Philly's going to win the Cup this year, Lucas.
No, I don't think they've won 1 Cup game.
I think our odds are pretty poor at this point.
I was about to say, I think they've lost every single Cup game.
Yeah, I believe so.
We are eliminated. Yeah, 0-3. Yeah,
that's a shame.
I'm okay with it. We've never really tried on the Cup games, I've noticed. Yeah. Besides that, looking at the Cup standings right now,
you could argue that if you know in the back of your mind, Joel and Paul George aren't going to get to the finals, maybe we should just be going all out for the Cup.
I mean,
get a trophy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Orlando's definitely going to bump the Hawks into the play-in. Does Miami come back down to earth? I don't think so, because I don't think their offense is going to be easy to scout for this year. I think next year they will, but I don't think this year.
Yeah, I like Orlando and Atlanta more on paper.
Yeah, I do, but I think they're going to get more wins.
I like Spoelstra more than most other coaches.
I was about to say, Spoelstra's like probably the top 3 coach in the NBA right now.
Equalizer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as
if Miami makes a trade for any of the guys that we just listed, they get better.
I think the top 7 in the East maybe isn't a lock, but you can kind of lock it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe Milwaukee crashes the party once Giannis is back. Philly could still. Boston just seems like they're going to stick around because
Joe Mazzulla is a maniac. I don't get it.
Mazzulla is kind of like Baby Spo, only
he's more of a jerk. Yeah. Well, you know who his college coaches were, right?
I don't, honestly.
Okay, so this is my West Virginia fandom coming out, guys. I do apologize now. So he played in West Virginia from, I believe, like 2006 to 2010. They got to the Final Four. He first played under John Beeline, who, he was a menace because in his 1-3-1 defense, he was the back line underneath the rim defender. Not the front defender, the rim defender. So he was there. And then he played for Bob Huggins. We know Bob Huggins is like all defense all the time type of guy. So and just a maniac as well. So putting those 2 coaching philosophies together is just wild.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense about Joe Mazzulla now, huh?
Yeah.
Because he got the offensive philosophy of Beeline with a 3-point shooting, and then
We should do a coach ranking at some point.
we should.
We should
That should
just
be
sit
next
down on
episode.
the pod
Next
and rank all the coaches.
next episode. Let's do it next
Maybe.
episode.
If Nick Nurse doesn't start giving us something nice to say, well,
I mean, part of this is his fault, but like he's still a top 20 guy. I would say.
I do think Nurse has definitely exacerbated some of the problems, like the broom thing. Like you just got to be a little bit more creative under trying circumstances.
Yeah.
I think some of the offensive magic dust from that first 5 games has worn off, but yeah, he's still a good coach, I guess.
Con
right,
Knuppel. Can we talk about Con?
Baller.
Like, are we gonna look back in 5 years and say, "Oh, Con Knuppel should have been the number 1 pick"?
No, I think that's still going to be Cooper. I think I really I am pretty confident that will still be Cooper. And frankly, I don't think the Spurs are going to feel too bad about Dylan Harper. I don't think the Sixers are going to feel bad about PJ. No. I really think maybe the first 4 picks were the right 4 picks. We'll see.
We'll see. Ace Bailey, good grief.
He's had some good games.
He's had some good games. He's had some bad games.
He's 19. It's okay. It's fine. He has really looked pretty darn good these past couple weeks. I think Ace will be okay.
I just feel bad for Utah because they actually had a real chance of making the play-in this year. And now they don't have a chance because Walker Kessler blew out his shoulder for the year.
I don't think Utah wanted to make the play-in this year. I'll be honest. I think this is a good year to not make the play-in.
There's that, but also, and I get it because they top 8, if the pick's not in the top 8, it goes to OKC. But I don't know.
We really don't need that too.
I talked about it last episode, but Tankathon here.
I did a mock, and my last mock, OKC still was getting 2 picks in the lottery, and it's what are we doing here?
So okay, here's all the picks that are going to be going to different teams. At number 3, New Orleans, Atlanta. Number 7, Clippers, OKC. Number 9, Utah to OKC. 13, Philly to OKC.
I was right. I predicted this.
Jesus.
I still am just very proud of myself for how right I was about it.
They don't even have all the roster space for all these picks. What are they going to do?
They don't. They have brought back 14 guys.
They're going to have to trade these picks or consolidate them and move them up or trade them out for future
trade
picks.
them for Trey Murphy.
They could. Honestly, if I'm... I like Trey Murphy, but if I'm New Orleans and I can save face by getting 2 top 10 picks...
For who?
No.
No. Sorry. Yes. For Murphy. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
If I can save face by getting those 2 top 10 picks, for Murphy, I think
you're not trading the Clippers pick if you're OKC. I think you have enough other picks to be here's
then fine.
Philly's
Trade Utah and Philly's pick then.
Yeah. Here's Utah's top 8 protected. Here's Philly's pick, and here's a couple other picks down the road.
They could send Houston's pick too. They could trade 3 picks for him.
Yeah, and they have
draft.
future picks. They have all the picks. So I think they could keep the Clippers pick and go for Trey Murphy if they really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a scary thought.
That is a very scary thought. Jeez. No. That's not even talking about all the second round picks.
It is kind of wild how the dynastic force of this era is going to be based in Oklahoma City. No,
and it was because their GM, willed his way to make this thing happen because he was the one that basically started the idea of making a hard cap. Let's be real. If we didn't have a hard cap, we would have seen teams like, the Nuggets keeping their roster together. I'm trying to think of other teams here. Maybe Phoenix keeps their roster together before the KD trade.
Yeah.
Maybe Minnesota doesn't trade Cat.
To be fair, though,
yeah,
there are going to be some financial complications down the road for OKC once everyone is getting paid.
Well, yeah, they're gonna, but that's not for another 2-3 years.
Yeah,
and even then, you still have your core together, and
they
you
have all
don't
these
have
picks. They're going to keep adding young guys who are making $4 million a year. Eventually, some are going to break out AJ Mitchell style. They're good at drafting. They'll be fine.
Yeah, so like, hey, let's just go to their roster real quick because I want to talk to you about like who can they keep and who can they not keep. Like keepers are like walkers.
Okay.
Like if we're just like, I know you love talking Thunder, so I will do that with you because I'm curious now.
Okay.
Okay, Brooks Barnhizer. I don't know who that is.
It's in a two-way.
Okay, Braden Carlson.
Brandon Carlson, Brooks Barnhizer, and Chris Youngblood are all on two ways.
Chris Youngblood is probably the best name in the NBA right now. I'm just going to say that. It's a good name.
I think Barnhizer is the guy who might stick around from that group.
Alex Caruso, he's gonna walk. He's 31. You don't keep him. No, probably. He's gonna walk. I don't know how many years he has left. You're gonna let Ousmane Dieng walk because he's bad, or at least he hasn't done anything yet. He'll probably get another chance in the NBA though if he wants it.
We need a forward.
He can't shoot.
That we know of.
No, he just can't. Lou Dort probably goes.
I don't know. I think they
can't afford all these guys, Chris. Can't afford them all. I don't know how many years he is back. Hardenstein, they've already drafted his replacement with Thomas Arbor. He's gone.
In theory. Yeah.
In theory. Isaiah Joe, probably gone, I would say.
So are we just going to say that everyone except the big three are gone?
No. I think they probably keep AJ Mitchell. They probably keep...
I think Cason Wallace stays around.
Cason Wallace, yeah. Probably Jalen Williams just because he's so cheap and he's like a veteran guy there.
Yeah.
Kendrick Williams because why not?
Yeah.
He's cheap too.
I think Topic is going to be a guy who just needs to get traded to another team before he gets a shot.
Like especially with the testicular torsion and the cancer there too. It's just he needs a fresh start. But yeah, no, Aaron Wiggins, maybe not. I don't know. That's hard. That's a maybe, right?
Yeah, Aaron Wiggins is like so good.
He might
he's
be
like
better.
Their 10th best player, and he's just awesome.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have him.
It's amazing how good this team is.
Like Kendrick Williams would still be playing a rotational player like role on most other teams.
Big minutes in Philly right now.
That's
maybe we should trade for Kendrick Williams.
$7 million, not impossible.
I could get,
but I don't think they want to trade. They want to have him as a lifer. I remember hearing that on a broadcast.
Jay Will would be a fun backup center.
He would, but yet again, I think he feels like a lifer.
Yeah, the vibes are really good there. I think they keep that going.
Yeah, but like, they can replace most of these guys, which is crazy. And it's just like, oh, well, Cason Wallace is going to be the hard one to keep, though. I'm going to tell you that right now, because he's going to get at least one team's going to give him close to a max offer.
Yeah, maybe.
If he gets to restricted free agency. If I'm them, I don't let him get there.
Yeah, ideally you extend him before then, if you can.
Yeah. But that's just, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
This whole roster is younger than me. It's kind of wild to think about these things.
Now you know how I feel. Yeah, most players in the NBA are younger than me now. I would have been, if I drafted 1 year out of college, I would have been drafted in the 2012 draft. You know how many people are left from the 2012 draft, Chris? You know how many people are left? It's not that many.
Yeah.
What, AD?
It is
Kyrie?
kind of hard for me to, in my mind, reckon with the fact that, these guys I'm writing about for the draft are quite younger than me that Cam Boozer's an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah,
Mainly because they're giant, but yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. It's
and
crazy.
Getting old.
Yeah. What are you now, like 26?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. I think this is our conclusion.
Yeah.
As always, everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Sixer Sense podcast. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Audible, Apple Podcast, all that fun stuff. Twitter at Sixer Sense.
YouTube.
Find us on YouTube. Watch our lovely faces.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want to
you.
see our beautiful faces.
I mean, look at this. As always, everyone, thank you for tuning into another episode of the Sixer Sense podcast. Please like, subscribe, follow along, all that stuff I already said. At Kline NBA on Twitter. At CoachJ_20 on Twitter. Go Sixers. We'll talk soon.